Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast. Today, Rickie will be discussing her plan, how she prepares for the competition and stuff like that. Rickie, you can take it away.
Hi guys. So just as Dan said today, I'm kind of explaining my plan, what I do the evening before, the day before I compete, and the day of the competition. Um, I've been competing for many, many years, so there's been a lot of routines that I've had that don't work, and finally I kind of found something that works for me. So number one thing for me, most important thing, is that the day before the competition, whether you get to your hotel or wherever you're staying, take my dresses out of the suitcase, take your tail suits, take your Latin shirts, the pants, everything out of the suitcase. Obviously, standard dresses, in my opinion, are probably the hardest thing to get ready, whether you're steaming it, ironing it, making sure it's hung perfectly so the next day it does not look like you just took it out of your suitcase and it's super wrinkly and you go into the competition, because we've all been there, we've all seen it. Nobody wants to look like that. It's happened to me, it's probably happened to you. So to avoid that, I know it's a hassle. I hate doing it, but I just have to do it as soon as I get to the hotel. Take out my dress. I make sure that it looks the way I want to have it look when I'm dancing, and I hang it up and forget about it. After that's done, the next thing I want to do, this is going to be different for every partnership. In previous partnerships, on the day of the competition, my partner and I would kind of just get ready in our own times and have a general idea of when we're going to be done, hair, makeup, everything good to go, ready to warm up before we're dancing. But my current partnership with my husband, we like to make a plan the night before or the evening before, where we know most of the time I'm doing my own hair and makeup. If I'm not doing my own hair and makeup, obviously I had to have made my appointments in advance. So we see exactly what time my appointments are. We see when I have to get up, get ready for my appointments, what time I'm going to be done, when I'm going to be done with my tanning, when I'm going to be done with my makeup, because I almost always do my own makeup, and what time he's going to start his hair, what time I have to do his makeup, because after I'm done with myself, I have to do his makeup as well, what time we're going to be completely done with everything, like on the cosmetic side. Hair, makeup, tanning, tail suit, dress, everything is good, ready to go. We have to make a step-by-step plan of the hours of the day. So the next day when it's happening and when we wake up the day of the competition, we don't have to stress about it. We don't have any confusion. We just know this is our goal, is to follow this plan. So we're ready at this time before we dance. Usually, whenever we're dancing, it kind of depends. If we're dancing in the morning, like some of the major comps, the under 21 is going to be at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning. And on those days, I'm usually getting up around 4 o'clock to get ready before we dance. But in America, the under 21 in the amateur ballroom, which is what I compete in, and same with the Latin, usually once you're getting to youth, anywhere from youth to amateur and pro, is usually going to be happening in the evening. So a lot of the times in the past few years, I've been dancing around 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. So on a day like that, my partner and I really like to get ready at least 2 hours before we dance. So if we're dancing at 9 p.m., that's when our heat is. We have to be done cosmetically with everything at least by 7. So then at 7 o'clock, we can kind of relax. We really like to do some sort of physical stretch slash warm up before we go to the practice room. I feel like when you go to the practice room, and especially when you have all your other competitors there and people that you know, it can get really distracting and it can be really hard to get in that zone and warm up your body the way you want. So we started a habit of, in our hotel room, before we go to the practice room, we would either do some sort of small like workout, not like a super intense workout where we're going to get really super sweaty, something that really raises our heart rate, gets our body moving, gets our blood flowing. And then kind of after that, once our heart rate is brought up, we'll do some sort of yoga stretching slash cool down. So our bodies are much more loose and they're actually ready to go to the practice room and start dancing, not with a stiff body that's just been standing in the bathroom for 3 hours doing hair and makeup. So after we do that, that also has to be done at least around 7:15. We'll go to the practice room. Of course, we would love to kind of practice warm up for at least 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes. do a little bit of basic together, warm up, go through our routines. As much as we can, try to dance full out. Maybe you're not able to do a full round in the practice room. It could be very busy. Obviously, if it's empty, you can just blast your music and you can even do a full out round before you dance, which is what I recommend. I think it's the best way to warm up before you go on the floor. But then after that, even if you're not able to do that, dancing in the frame, dancing similar to how you would on the comp, going through the parts that maybe you're a little bit hesitant about, maybe that you've been practicing that week, getting ready for the comp, go over those, talk to each other, communicate how you're feeling. Because the worst is when you just get to the practice room, you just put up the frame or you put on your shoes and you're just dancing and you know that it doesn't feel good. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have to dance literally in an hour and a half. This is going to be terrible. Nobody wants that. So communicate to your partner how you're feeling, warm up the best that you guys can together. You really want to be a united front. That's always what I strive for. After that, usually about 45 minutes before we're supposed to dance, we like to be fully dressed. So I'll get in my shoes, my dress, he'll get in his tail suit, I'll have a robe on. He'll have a robe on if he wants. We like to go to the ballroom, feel the floor, get our shoes ready. If we need to put oil on it, usually I hate putting oil on my shoes. I only do it if I absolutely have to. But if I'm not doing that, I'll just brush my shoes, maybe add a tiny, tiny little bit of water if I feel that I need that. He'll do whatever he wants to do to his shoes. Feel the floor, especially if you have any general dances. Feel the floor. We like to mark out our routines slightly, not super intensely, because usually, at least in my partnership, that's my partner's job. He deals with where he wants to start the waltz, where he wants to start the tango, where he wants to start the quick step. Sometimes I have different ideas because I think maybe it's not good to start there, but you know what? Usually when you have several rounds, the first round goes and he'll figure out whether he liked where he started or he didn't. And then the next round, he'll either start similar spot or in different spots. But definitely before, if you've never tried it, especially with the standard, I would say, because sometimes the floors can be different sizes and you have to figure out how your routine is going to fit on that size of floor. Like for us, our quick step routine barely fits on any floor that we dance in, but we really have to figure out where we're going to start and see how it goes. Then if it doesn't go the way we want the next round, he'll try something different. But yeah, in terms of food, if we're dancing in the evening, I'll try to eat a really, really, really big breakfast and also a really big lunch. And then as we get closer, like 2 hours before we dance, so if I'm dancing at 9, at 7 o'clock, when I'm done with my hair, makeup, tanning, everything, I'll eat another meal. Maybe it won't be a huge meal, but I'll definitely have something substantial that will last me a minimum of 2 hours. And then right before, of course, you want to be staying hydrated the entire day. My partner and I heard something about like several days before the comp, you want to be drinking lots and lots of water. Of course, you want to be drinking water all the time, but especially before a comp because it helps your muscles to, I think, get fatigued much later if they have that hydration and if you have the water running through you. So several days before, we're trying to drink a lot of water. Obviously, the day before and the day of, you want to be drinking as much water as possible to keep your body as hydrated and feeling well as possible. So a lot of people have different food things that work for them. What works for my husband does not work for me. All he knows is that when I'm getting ready, he's got a plan when he's got to feed me, what he's got to feed me. He's always going out and getting the food for us when I'm doing my hair and makeup because it takes him way less time than it takes me to get ready. And then I'll leave him alone in the bathroom. He's doing his hair and I'm eating, I'm relaxing, listening to music, visualizing if that's how I'm feeling on the day, going through my routines mentally, listening to music, how I want to dance. And yeah, I eat a lot on the competition day. That's just what works for my body. But definitely making the plan, figuring out what you're going to eat, visualizing your dancing, getting ready the way as much time as you need. That's my routine because I know I always need extra time. Even if I don't think I need extra time, I always give myself extra time because I know I'm going to be stressed if I don't give myself enough time. But that, I would say, is probably the best way I can explain my pre-competition routine prep for the comp on the day of.
Yes, that sounds great. Guys, remember, this is what works for Rickie. Other people might not agree with Rickie's routine or my routine, but again, this is what works for Rickie. Definitely explore what works for you. Um, Try out different things. Don't explore on big competitions. Stick with what you're comfortable. But on smaller competitions, when you're still practicing, those like small practice competitions, that's when you can explore.
Mhm.
Thank you for tuning in. Our next episode will probably our episode schedule will now be um, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. This is when we will be releasing all of our episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time, guys.